and thank you so much for joining us on Daybreak Extra this beautiful Saturday morning. The weather is cozy, the weather is really cool, and we're super excited to be here, to bring to you the best of entertainment, the best of, of lifestyle right here on Daybreak Extra. I'm Dashan Husseina Osman, and we're live in the Federal Capital Territory on Trust TV. And I'm not alone. I also have my co-anchor with me right here in the studio, Rosemary Bassi. Good morning, Rosemary. Oh, I almost said Etime. How have you been? Fine. How's your week?
Week was okay, work, but trying to put a balance to everything at the end.
Yeah, it was quite a hectic but very interesting one. But what made it all better was the fact that I actually got book gifts.
I saw your book gifts.
2 book gifts, and I cannot wait to read them.
Not even about the book gift, the person who gifted you the book.
Oh, yeah, fantastic. Yes, of course. But, that story for another day, isn't it? All right, so today on the show, we promise it's going to be fun. So just keep watching because we have lots of hot and interesting packages for your viewing pleasure. And we'll later be joined by a sketch artist, after which we'll take a look at some social media gossip in the world of entertainment. For now, we'll take a quick breather, and when we return after the break, it'll be time for the newspaper review this beautiful Saturday morning. Do stick around.
Where you find that they look at the
not necessarily tribal or regional.
But I have said that.
All right, welcome back. If you're just joining us, you're watching Daybreak Extra on Trust TV right here in Abuja. And we'll start by reeling out the Daily Trust Saturday newspaper. And we have the lead story that talks about NBC revoking licenses of AIT, Silverbird, and 50 others. Writers that say decision hasty, says NUJ. And will resolve the issue, says Stations. And you can find details of that on page 4. And we have on the cover story, travelers caught between rock and hard place. When we're delving into the papers, we'll let you know what it is all about, this particular story. On Encounter, how I graduated with first class despite writing SSC twice, jam thrice. ASU strike, law backs federal government's no work, no pay, says lawyers. We also have 4 years after Niger yet to fulfill scholarship promise to international debate winners. Is it Niger or Niger? All right, we'll find that out. But moving on, Kaduna train attack. 85-year-old regains freedom, and that's on page 4. On the footnote there, we have Buhari orders crackdown on oil thieves. And at the top of the page, we have from phone screens to TV, skit makers who have joined Nollywood. And you can see pictures of Lasisi, Josh Tiffany, and who's the other guy? Oh, you can speak.
MC Light.
MC Light. Okay. Lively. Oh, MC. Is that MC Lively? Are you serious? Oh my goodness.
She don't say MC Light.
Is that MC lively. All right, and then moving on, we have after 101 years, that's on Round and About, new challenges stare Barewa College in the face. And these are some of the stories that we'll be taking a look at on Daily Trust Saturday.
On the front page of the Saturday Tribune, we have Oyo Council of Obas back Makinde's second term bid. We also have an Okada rider who says, I used my colleague's phone number in kidnap threat letter because he demanded I pay back his 20,000 naira. We have the lead story here that reads, Abuja Kaduna train attack. Terrorist holds 21-year-old Jean lady for marriage, says negotiator. We have riders that read, says commander is in love with her. 85-year-old victim, daughter, 2 others released. At the bottom of the paper, we have foreign airlines to blacklist Nigeria by December, says Nanta. Nigerians will soon start flying out from neighboring countries. Ethiopian airline pilot sleeps off, misses landing. Obasanjo says on page 6, we will use Tinubu's Olule Emilokan Eleyi for politics. We also have uproar as government revokes licenses of AIT, 21 state-owned broadcast stations, others. NUJ, NGE, MRA, IPC, kick.
All right, with that, we'll move on to Saturday Punch. And on Saturday Punch, just beside the nameplates there, we have extrajudicial killing allegations, blight Army's peacekeeping operation in Cross Rivers. And then just below the name there, we have Varsity suspend 461,745 students admission over incessant strikes. ASU Emergency Congress holds Monday. We also have why we can't increase civil servant salaries, says Buhari. And the lead story here talks about campaigns. Politicians bombard police with special protection requests. We have writers on that story that says approval not automatic based on threat analysis, says Force PRO. Police deployment to private individuals unsustainable, says ex-DIG AIG. PSC says Nigeria should recruit 40,000 police personnel annually. We also have IPOP promoters, Kanu backers behind Peter Obi, says Miyetti Allah's secretary. And we have writers that says, I discussed fixing Nigeria with ex-Anambra governor, says Femi Kuti. Moving on, we have Zamfara farmers begin negotiations with bandits today on page 5. Atiku, not offended by Wike's outburst, says Dino Melaye. Talks progressing on PDP crisis, says Fintiri Mimiko. And then we have Knox as NBC revokes AIT Silverbed others licenses. And on entertainment, actresses bodies tools of their trade, says Egwavon. And on the footnote there, we have retiring 243 soldiers must submit arms. Others, says Army. And these are some of the stories on Saturday Punch.
On the front day of this day, we have Owa Kingdom alive for Princess Margaret Obaigbena's burial today. We also have Buhari charges military to halt crude oil theft in Niger Delta. Down below, we have reconciliation. Team Atiku's meeting with Team Wike in Port Harcourt deadlocked. We have riders that read Mimiko. There are some issues requiring further deliberation. Ghana begs Rivers governor to stay in PDP. And we have the lead story here that says Bon, NGE, NUJ kick as NBC orders closure of AIT, Ray Power, Silverbed TV, 50 other stations. We have a rider that says 2.6 billion debt triggered revocation, says regulator, moves to ensure immediate compliance using security agencies. And at the bottom of the paper, we have terror leader moves to forcefully marry 21-year-old train abductee. And these are some of the stories on the This Day paper.
All right, with that, we'll move on to the Nation newspaper. And at the top of the page there, we have Wike supporters will dump PDP if reconciliation fails, says Jerry Ghana. Fresh talks with Atiku camp deadlocked. Then we also have the lead story that says how Buhari rejected ASU's demand for 6 months salaries. And writers that says union strike continues until our members are paid. Academics advocate liberalization of university union. And then there's actually an insert there. Who compensates students if varsity teachers are paid 6 month salaries for doing nothing, says Buhari to minister. Okay, that's an excerpt from what the president actually said on the issue. Below that story, we have editors kick as NBC shut AIT, Silverbird, 50 other broadcast stations over non-payment of fines, non-renewal of licenses. Niger community where Nigerian families dump loved ones afflicted with leprosy. And that survivors peak on battles with stigma. We also have serial killer roams Ogun, targets women police. Yes, more stories still on the Nation newspaper. Princess Lara Fashola says, why I sacrificed my marriage to serve Olokun goddess. Train attack. Terrorists release oldest victim, daughter, 2 others as abductors plan to marry off 21-year-old hostage. These are some of the stories on the Nation newspaper.
And on the Blueprints weekend, we have monopoly enjoyed by ASU responsible for incessant strikes in universities, says Konwa, urges FG to recognize more academic unions. We also have at the top of the paper, Austin Okpara, Omotayo Omotosho, where are they now? We have another story here that says Bauchi government rescues 69 people from bandits. Gunmen assassinate Zamfara lawyer. We also have medical tourism, why Nigerians should emulate Osibanjo. On page 4, we have why federal government can't consider salary increase now, says Buhari. We have a writer that says Oroshanye reports will lead to fundamental changes in civil service. We also have the lead story here that says presidential race, Nigerians tax candidates on security economy. We have writers that read campaigns should focus on unity, stability, says Governor Buni and Bello. Present roadmaps to solve insecurity, unemployment, others, says Ojo. Securing Nigeria, genuinely fighting corruption, key, says Chukwani. Yaga Africa says candidates should focus on economy. Issue-based campaigns will determine our future. We also have on page 24, De Rara, organized prayer session for Nigeria, fitted Kannywood stars. NBC revokes AIT, Silverbird, Raypower, other licenses over 2.6 billion naira debt. ASU strike, how we are coping, says lecturers. You can find that story on page 19, and this would be all for the Blueprint weekend.
All right, with that, we'll move on to First News newspaper. And at the top of the page there, we have again, Buhari orders security agencies to annihilate terrorists. We also have same story on every newspaper, talking about the salary increase for civil servants. The lead story here says Atiku Wike spat, no end in sight yet as Port Harcourt meeting ends in stalemate. What they discussed, don't be disappointed, you'll be president one day, Jerry Ghana tells Wike. We also have Tinubu has added Emilokan Olule to Yoruba political dictionary, says Obasanjo. We have Agbaja Lingo detained to be moved to Abuja. Teachers spared me when they punished others, says 19-year-old Ondo Oba. We also have how I'll transform power sector and electricity crisis, says Atiku. And we also have released Nasarawa Information Commissioner. Family police disagree over ransom payment. We mounted pressure on kidnappers. They left him and ran away. No ransom was paid, says police. And it is not true. We paid his abduction 30 million naira to buy his freedom, says family sources. So there's a lot of confusion there between family and police. We also have subsidy investigations. Our statutory role is tax enforcement, collections and not use of funds, says FIRS. And serial killer, rapist on the prowl in Remo, Ogun police, one woman. Say suspect poses as an Okada rider. And then we have Navy arrests Norwegian ship stealing Nigerian crude oil. These are some of the stories on First News.
And on the front page of the Leadership Weekend, we have no work, no pay. We will forgo unfinished academic sessions. ASU replies FG. We also have Nigerian Navy confirms arrest of 26 foreigners wanted for oil theft. Buhari, why implementation of Orasanye's report is slow. We also have the lead story, which is still speaking on the revocation of AIT, Silverbird, and 52 other licenses. Born Right NBC seeks withdrawal of revocation order. Broadcasters submit 2.6 billion naira debt recovery templates to commission. NGE, NUJ, SERAP, others kick. Say it will render many journalists jobless. We also have the Atike Wike feud, Fintiri, Mimiko, Duke, others in frantic move to broker peace. Below at the paper, we have pilots fall asleep, fail to land airline on time. Train attack, terrorist release oldest victim, daughter, 2 others. More airlines may boycott Nigeria over trapped funds, IATA warns, and those are the stories on the front page of the Leadership Weekend.
All right, and with that, we'll take a quick breather, and when we return, we will talk about some of these stories. Just stick around.
To every politician, as the campaigns gain momentum and passions begin to rise, remember, the errors of your opponents do not make you a success. Do not run down your opponent and inflame passions to violence between and among your supporters. What counts is what you plan to do for the electorate and how you intend to relieve the sufferings and bring succor. Nigeria is in dire need of patriotic leaders at all levels. Leaders who will make national development their priority. Concentrate on telling the electorate what you intend to do when you get into office. Focus on making your vision clear to the electorate. Don't engage in verbal abuses, fake news, or speeches. Keep dealing with issues that will bring progress. You win the hearts and minds of the people by being above board, by being civil, patriotic, and showing empathy. Let's join hands to make the 2023 elections peaceful. A message from the National Orientation Agency.
Not necessarily tribal or regional.
Because I have said that
Welcome back. Now let's take a look at what the papers are saying, and we will begin with Daily Trust Saturday. And on numbers, that's on page 3, we have the number of suspected oil thieves arrested by EFCC and the Nigerian Army for illegal oil bunkering at Ndoni in Rivers State is 120.
1,000 or
Just 120. I know you're expecting more because when you're looking
I
at
am
it.
expecting more because
Yeah.
oil theft is something that is very, very common. in Port
Okay. It didn't
Harcourt.
actually state, what period in time
Yeah,
and all
because
that.
the numbers should be more than that.
Yeah,
honestly.
exactly. All right, so the number of new batch of Nigerians stranded in Libya received by National Emergency Management Agency on arrival in Lagos is 174. You have so many of them coming back home, and still you have so many Nigerians running away from Nigeria.
That's just life. People
if
come,
there's a
people
word like
go.
that.
It's like there would always be immigration and emigration. My concern is, why do people still go to Libya? Like, why do they
Okay,
choose
after
Libya?
knowing, I
I
think very few people still go there, but most of the people who actually left en masse, a long time ago, are the ones coming back because nothing is actually really working for most of them.
I mean, to come back to Nigeria, then your chances must have been very, very
Slim. Okay, so the number of pipeline vandals police in Bayelsa State arrested for blowing up a trunk line carrying crude in parts of the state is 5. We have very few numbers today. And then students expelled by Kogi State Polytechnic, Lokoja, for misdemeanors and poor academic performance is 171.
So you can. I
was actually going to ask that.
When you misbehave.
No, I know a lot of people. Like, what happened?
No,
it must have been really poor.
No, that's why you hear people say, they stayed in school for a long period of time. It's because they tried to improve. Do you know what it means for a school to expel you?
That means they've given up on you.
They've really given up on you. You must have been there for
really
a long
bad.
time.
Or it's possible that they're not serious with schooling. They don't come for lectures, don't come for classes, and don't do homeworks and all that. So
I mean, you're paying school fees. Whether you fail or you pass, the school
there's
will
nothing
still keep
added
you.
to your CGPA, and then you're blocking other people's chances of, aren't you?
I wouldn't say so.
Okay. All right. So what's your thought about NBC revoking licenses of, other TV stations and radio stations?
Everything has its terms and conditions. I don't think they would randomly wake up in the morning and say, okay, you know what? You're no longer going on live. We're going to cut you off. They said 2.6 billion naira in debts, and that's a lot of money. And I mean, 52 stations is also a lot. So give or take, they must have considered, the effects and all of that that would happen.
But you have these stations saying they're working, they're sorting out the issues. Okay, so you've defaulted in payment of your license or repayment of your licenses or renewal. Why didn't you,
try to
resolve it in the first place?
I think Nigerians, we just have this last-minute syndrome. We would rather wait until we, see that, okay, we're in a tight corner, then we can now start looking for a solution. Can't blame them. I don't think the decision was hasty. Okay,
so we have Garba Shehu here talking about, them soon unveiling big men behind oil theft. I can't wait to see the day.
There are so many big men they need to reveal. It's not just oil theft, but if they are going to reveal oil theft, then that's a start.
Okay, so now let's talk about, transportation. Now, the cover story on Daily Trust talks about, insecurity and the aviation crisis. And then, I actually read out the travelers caught between rock and the hard place, not knowing what it's all about, but it has to do with transportation and the fact that road users are actually weighing their options. Motorists are actually decrying low patronage, and experts are seeking holistic measures. Now, you go to the aviation sector, there's no aviation fuel.
Well, someone put up I saw a video recently, and the flight was empty.
How recent?
Recently, I think this week.
But of course, Nigerians are going through so much. The dollar rate is high, and then everything is going up. How many people can actually afford to pay such a huge amount of money for just a day. Go
Local
come.
tickets are going for
Tickets.
120, 130.
And then insecurity has made it difficult for travelers to even travel by road. If you need to travel, if it's utmostly necessary for you to travel, that's when you travel. But if not, you just stay at home.
My dear, the 130,000 naira for a ticket or 10 million for bandits, which is the safer pick for you? That's just the truth.
Okay, so hopefully, you know, because you have in the story saying Nigerians have shunned road trips and shunned flights as well.
Yeah.
Yeah, they've even shunned trips.
Nobody is traveling.
Except by
Everybody
boat,
wants to
if there's
stay at
anything
home.
like that. Okay.
Thinking about it, now is the time to start exploring other transportation options, you know, train.
Yeah, but then, you know, talking about
Water.
the train, remember what happened, you know, and we're still suffering the after effects of, you know, the train attack.
Yeah, but like I'm
So-
saying, when it comes to train transport in Nigeria, the only two major ones we have is the Abuja Kaduna and then the Lagos Ibadan. But we should have other train stations. It shouldn't just be one.
Okay, so on cartoon here, that's letters. Yes, you have the famous girl and her father, and she's asking, Dad, Niger Republic has denied receiving 1.4 billion naira vehicles from Nigeria, and then the dad says, I hope termites have not eaten up the vehicles as well, because these days you hear very, very funny stories. Okay. So let's take a look at more. Okay, you were going to say something.
No, I was like,
It was
that's
just
very
funny.
funny.
Okay.
You know, termites eating cars now.
All right, so an encounter, yes, it's a story of a lady, an interview with a lady who, her name is Grace Yusufu Philibus, and she talked about how she graduated first class after even despite writing SSC twice and JAM 3 times. And you know, from what I actually know, most people who actually repeat a class end up being very brilliant students. Yes. Most people who have written JAM more than once, or even SSCE more than once, end up being very brilliant. I don't know what it is.
You know, failure can do a lot to people.
Okay,
You know,
she's a
when you
success.
fail the first time, you know, you definitely have reasons putting more effort than you did. And it's worse when
And you
failed the
understand better?
Exactly.
Okay.
And if you fail twice, my God, you don't want to fail a third time.
Okay, that's
You don't want to
another.
fail a third time.
Yeah, that's another, you know, thoughts. Thank you so much for that.
You're welcome.
All right, so we have a lot more stories on, yes, I'm looking for, oh, this is the story I'm looking for. On entertainment, talking about the MCs that went from mobile screens to TV. And you're talking about MC Lively. I didn't know he looks really good here. Does he look like MC Lively to you?
No, he doesn't.
I
Obviously, he's
didn't
not
know.
running his skits now, so he looks different.
Yes, of course. You have Mr. Macaroni, that's Debo.
Debo.
We have the likes of La Sisi Laisi, that's what he calls himself.
Eleni.
We have Josh Too Funny and MC Lively. And you know,
I haven't actually watched the Lasisi movie, but everyone says it's very funny.
I haven't as well.
everyone
Okay,
says it's very
yeah, I
funny.
think, what's the title? I think I've seen the trailer.
The Raz guy. Yes, that's the name.
Okay. All right, so yes, Raz Guy would actually I'm sure it's on Netflix. So we'll actually take a look at that. I'll be watching it a little bit later. So thank you so much for that.
Wow, that's you slimy, but no problem.
Well, that's good. All right, so let's take a look at more stories. Okay, no, before we move on, what's your thought on the, you know, release of the Kaduna train attack victims, especially the eldest woman, you know, amongst them?
It's taking too much time. I mean, they are releasing them
The
in
pockets of releases here and
Yes,
there.
it's just. I mean, from what I heard, they've granted their request. So why are you releasing them one by one? And now one of the commanders saying he wants to marry one of the victims, that he's in love with her. You kidnapped me and you're in love with me. You need to pick a side.
But we don't even know what the girl feels about the whole thing, because, you know, yeah,
You
Yes, yes,
think
let's
she's
just-
in
let's-
love too?
I have no idea. But for him to actually say that, it means they probably have some sort of relationship. But let's just see how it goes. But then you talked about, you kidnapping me and saying fall in
Yeah,
love with me.
it's-
It's not right.
it's like a movie.
If she decides, because she's 21 years old, if she decides she wants to stay, then at 21, yes.
Hussein, someone that kidnaps you.
All right, let's move on from that. Let's not even dwell on that.
No.
So let's move on to Blueprint newspaper. There are a few stories there talking about medical tourism, why Nigerians should emulate Oshibajo. And we also have why federal government cannot consider increase of salary, now. And that's attributed to the president himself. If you remember the whole thing about, the governors saying that they should reduce the retirement age to 50 for civil servants. And Labour Union actually came out to say that instead of doing that, why not increase their salaries? Because people are going through a lot. And 50 is actually still young.
There's inflation. People's salaries are still the same. It's not fair. And they can't say they don't have the money to pay, because if termites can eat money, then I think at least the money should be given to the people that need it. I don't see what termites are going to use money for.
Okay, but then, the president has actually said that they can't consider it now. And I'm sure, it's taken, the economic crunch is actually taking a bite on, everything. Even those, the elites are feeling it right now. Even the leaders are feeling it. It's just that, there's can actually cushion a lot more than the masses. All right, so let's take a look at more stories. What's your take on the Wike and Atiku saga? A lot has been going.
Wike so much. I can't say anything.
Wait, he makes you laugh.
Yes.
That's one. He's funny. Okay.
I feel like with everything that is going on right now, I could just watch one Wike video and I would be,
and that band he always moves around with. Like,
I hope
somebody said they'll soon drop an album. There's a video I saw about him talking about how a lot of people are asking him what kind of economy he's running, and he said he was running Jesus' economy. And then before you knew it, they started singing praise and worship. And then, talking about Wike this every morning, afternoon, and night is Wike, and then they started singing Biggie Man.
At some, it's going to get to a point where he himself has to, decide what he wants, what he's going to do. Is he with PDP? Is he with APC? Is he with Labour Party? Like, where are you? Where do you stand?
Where do you belong? Where do you belong? But
for the meantime, I think it's really interesting. He should please keep
comic relief, Abby.
Yes.
But do you think it's planned?
If it's planned, then whoever planned it deserves a stellar award, because this would be the height of clout chasing. If it was planned, no.
All right. Talking about transportation, there's a story here. That IATA warns that more airlines may boycott Nigerians over trapped funds.
There's so much happening in this country. I think I need to take a trip.
And then the pilot falling asleep and missing his landing.
He's had a long day, I guess.
How? Are they working pilots now?
Yeah, but I mean, that's why they keep two pilots in the cockpits now. That's why.
Exactly. If you have a pilot, you have a co-pilot as well. So what happened? Were they exactly? Or was the co-pilot trying to, let's leave it at that. We don't know what happened,
but story, but so far so
let's
good.
see. All right. So moving on, let's talk about who can you actually trust in this life? You have a neighbor, you can't trust him. You have a friend, you can't trust them. You have a colleague, you can't even trust them.
I only trust 4 people.
You can't even trust people. You have family, you can't even trust them. Community members, you can't trust them.
I do trust my family, just my family.
Because an Okada rider here is saying he used his colleague's phone number in kidnap threat letter because he demanded that he paid back his 20,000 naira. Like,
this is because the economy is hard. I'm very sure.
That's not an excuse. That's actually not an excuse. Why would you implicate someone like that?
It's wicked, but what do you want me to say? it's wicked. You can't. There's no two way about it. But I mean, they do track all these things down. Yes, even if you put someone's phone number in,
You would definitely know, of course.
Yeah,
you would know. All right, so moving on, there's this lady, Egwavon. I don't really know who she is. She's an actress, or yes, and she said that actresses' bodies are tools of their trade.
Give or take, there is no Nigerian actress right now that hasn't done any form of body enhancement. I know it's also coming down to what Ali Baba said recently. He's like, some of these actresses, you don't act that much movies. You maybe appear once or twice in a movie. Next thing we know, we're seeing you on Instagram. Thank you, my fans. Thank you, God. You're buying a house. You're buying a car. You're traveling the world. On what budget? So it's the truth. Their bodies have become tools of trade. At least she's bold enough to speak on it. Many will tell you, oh no, they work hard. They work this, but we can't see. It's not like...
Okay, away from that entertainment, that story, you know, with so much happening in Nigeria, the last thing you want to think of is, you know, climbing a serial killer's Okada in Ogun State. So women need to be really, really careful.
Yeah.
You know, first thing you have to do in being careful is, you know, pray before you step out. Because
yeah, of course. But how do you... That you know, that's the thing.
But if the police even know that this man is in Ogun State and he flaunts as an Okada man, why have they not been able to actually catch him? And knowing he's a serial killer.
How do you know he's a serial killer? No offense, I could be a serial killer sitting here having a conversation with you. It's not written on my forehead I'm a killer.
No, he probably killed a few people and he's wanted. He's wanted for him to be declared that way.
Is there a picture of him? No, I'm just
saying
There's no
picture. I've not seen a picture.
Interest, like people that have to ride Okadas.
Exactly. I've not seen a picture. And what makes you feel him reading this news about himself now won't switch to another trade?
Exactly. Maybe get a car and start driving taxis.
Oh, may God protect us all. All right, so we'll take a quick breather. When we return, we will take a few more stories and then wrap up.
With me today is the Governor of Kano State, His Excellency Dr. Umar Abdullahi Ganduji.
First of all, I have to congratulate you, the Media Trust, that has given birth to the Daily Trust. And now the Media Trust is giving another birth to Trust TV.
My guest today is the Executive Governor of Plateau State, His Excellency Simon Bako Lalong.
Thank you very much, and also opportunity, and I congratulate you for introducing the television because Daily Trust has always been my people.
Thank you very much, Your Excellency.
Thank you.
And with this, I think it's time for us to wrap up the newspaper review, yes, at this hour. And, you know, thank you so much for staying tuned. We'll take, right now, we'll take a daily hustle. This is where we'll get to find out, Yes, yes. Before our daily hustle, we'll actually, run a little package. Yes, a little package on, exercises, how to keep fit, what you're supposed to do, and we all know that most Abuja people, most FCT residents, on Saturdays is when they all come
jogging.
out of mass.
I see like people
exactly, and even children
I
as
see
well.
people doing
Quite
a lot
interesting.
of jogging, group workouts. If you go to the gym on Saturday, it's usually crowded.
It's really full. And then after that, we'll take a look at, while some people are trying to keep fit, some are trying to hustle, in order to make ends meet in this Nigerian economy that we find ourselves in, today. So let's take a quick breather and we'll return after this.
But in a situation where you find that they look like the same,
Not necessarily tribal or regional.
because I have said that.
Human beings evolved from their nomadic ancestors who spent all their time moving around in search of food and shelter, traveling large distances daily. The implication is that our bodies are designed and have evolved to be regularly active. In this report, we looked at the importance of exercise to the body and how it keeps the body healthy and not susceptible to diseases. Exercise improves both strength and the efficiency of the body's cardiovascular system to get the oxygen and nutrients to the muscle. Staying active keeps the joints, muscle, and the ligaments flexible, allowing the body to move easily and avoid injuries. We also found out that strong muscle and ligaments reduce the risk of joint and lower back problems.
I basically do cardio, then I lift a bit of weight, then I finish up with badminton. I discovered that since I started doing it, I've felt much better with my health, and I feel younger.
It helped me keep fit in all parts of the body. Badminton is a game of movement, so you can't stand stagnant, you understand? So you have to move with your body, and it works for all the whole part of your body, even the anatomic part of your body too.
We are here to train them. Our training time is just 7 to 10 in the morning. That's the evening. We do training 4 to 6 years. And we always teach them how to do many things. They do stunts, they do 360, half rotation, many things. They have skills in their head, and we always show them how to do it, how to become a champion, how to become the champion of tomorrow. We always show them many things about skating, and they really love the game.
As a human, you should be working out every day. Regardless of how you look, you might look fine, healthy, understand? You're supposed to be working out, burn some calories every morning, and know how you are looking fit and how you are feeling fit.
We skate here, we train children to skate too. I know skating has to do with some group of muscles of the body.
We do skating, aerobics, badminton, and some other sport as well. Skateboarding, snakeboarding, overboarding, bicycle riding, horse riding as well. Yeah, other people do the activities, but me, I do skating.
This report shows that the more we exercise, the more calories we burn. In other words, the higher the metabolic rate, the more calories we burn, even if the body system is not warm. A cross-section of people who spoke to our correspondent further revealed that exercising the body encourages the release of the brain chemicals which are responsible for the production of cells. The children that normally come out to exercise their body have a way of thinking straight and makes them brighter. They also spoke on the importance of exercise to the body and how regular exercise prepares them for physical competition.
It makes me more fit and ready to work.
Exercise is definitely of utmost importance.
We love you, Trust TV.
Sunana Muhammad Nura Nasiru da ke jihar Kano, ƙaramar hukumar Gezawa local government. Gaskiya alhamdulillah wannan kasuwanci da muke yi ina rufa mana asiri. Domin ba mu da wani kasuwanci da ya wuce wannan. Wannan kasuwanci da shi muke ci, da shi muke sha, muke wa kanmu sutura, muke wa wani ma. Wanda ma bai ma san ko ya zai ba mu taimake shi kuma shi ma asirin su yi ma irin. To alhamdulillah. To gaskiya yanzu zan iya gaya maka lokaci, amma lokacin da fara zuwa tun dai mulkin Jonathan na farko, lokacin da ya karbi mulki hannun Yar'adua, tun daga lokacin da ke zuwa Abuja. Na farko dai ina sai da wannan farko wannan faifa shine kilishi, wanda ake yin sa da naman sa. Ana yin sa, ana dry wannan sa, ana sama kuli-kuli da albasa da onions da albasa da tafarnuwa, ana hada ana fry din sa, ana soya shi da groundnut oil. Shi ma wannan akwai na rago, akwai na sa, ba abin da ba ya samu, akwai na cikin na kaza. Ba za mu ce ba ma samu ba, kuma alhamdulillah muna samu daidai bakin gwargwado. Tunda muna iya samu mu ci mu sha, kuma mu ma dan wani bikin mu dan samu wanda za mu dan aje zuwa gaba, wanda za mu dan yi duba lafiyar mu jikin mu. Ina ce da su da wannan kasuwanci, kuma ina yi wa iyali na sutura, kuma yaro bana bashi lafiya ina iya kai shi asibiti likita ya duba shi duk da wannan kasuwanci na. To wani abu ne da yake wajen Allah. Za mu iya cewa za mu iya samu fiye man Allah baka zai samu 3,000, 4,000, 2,000, wani zuba kuma za ka iya marasawa. To abu yau wari baki har ma samu fiye da haka, amma wani zuba kuma za ka iya ma fitowa baka samu ba. Gaskiya ni ina ganin irin waɗannan, ko kai karatu ka zauna ka ce kai ba za ka yi kasuwanci ba, gaskiya ina gani kamar ci baya ne a gare ka. To domin mu a wannan da shi ne muke samu muke rufa kan asiri, wani ma muke iya taimakon sa har ma ya samu ya ga ya samu wani, mun samu wani nasara mun taimaka masa. Domin a wannan kasuwanci namu alhamdulillah gaskiya babu nan da ya ci sai dai godiya. Akwai hanyoyi da yawa wanda za iya samu, kuma iya samun irin ogoginmu waɗanda suke mana kaya, suke bamu muke yin talla da zuwa diloli wanda suke raba mana muke sayarwa. Za a iya samun waɗannan, tabbas akwai hanyoyi da za a iya shigowa kuma su iya samun ci gaba fiye da wannan muke gani a yanzu. Wani in ya ganka da shi akan hanya zai iya gaya maka ma maganar ma da kai kanka za ka iya tunani wannan magana ma wani ma bai zai ce ba zo ya gaya ma ita ba, sai biya ko wani ma zai ce ma chief ko mene ko me ka, kuma matsayin kana tsaye rike da kayanka kuma da wannan abu da shi kada ka dogara, kuma ya ganka da yancinka a hannunka, amma zai iya gaya maka wannan maganar. Gaskiya wannan kalubale ne wanda muke fuskantar sa, wanda ba dan karami ba. In dai mai sana'a ne akan hanya, gaskiya ana ganin sa ma bai je makaranta ba, bai ma yi komai ba, bai ma san mene rayuwa take tafiya ba. To mu kuma alhamdulillah hakan dai gaskiya muna ganin ci gaba, muna gani kuma mun wuce kowane lokaci. To ai tunda ba wani plaza ne da mu ko kuma wani gudu za mu iya samu mu zauna ba, wa gaskiya muna gani akan wani hanya da muke zagayawa a shi, gaskiya muna iya samun kasuwa fiye da za mu iya samu a ce mun zauna waje daya. Akan hakan gaskiya alhamdulillah gaskiya mu kan hanya akan nan muna samun nasara fiye da yadda ba ma iya mazatu. Kuma akan hanya haka wasu suna iya samun su iya karɓar lambar wayar mu, wani lokacin za su yi wani baji ko kuma wani abu, suna iya karɓar lambar mu kuma su zo har su karɓa sama da guda 100 a ran ɗaya mutum ɗaya na iya samun wannan. Ko a yanzu ma da ba don wayata na da lambar mutum da ke Lagos, ina iya kira na, ko da ina gida ya kira ni na kawo maka kaya kuma ya saya. alhamdulillah kuma wani bayarabe.
That's great.
All right, welcome back. And we're still here, you know, on Daybreak Extra, myself and Rosemary. And right now we're going to do a little bit of entertainment before, you know, our guest comes, you know, around.
Yeah.
So talking about entertainment, what is happening?
I mean, I wouldn't say there's so much happening in entertainment itself, but there's been so much like social media gist and gossip over the week. So I want to ask you this question. If you were to go to your in-laws' house today and you know your mother, your future mother-in-law serves you food, you know, or no, she's cooking actually, is it your duty to go join her in the kitchen, you know, as the future wife, cook, set the table, you know, when they are done, clear up the dishes? And
well, it depends. If it's my first time there,
yes,
I wouldn't join her.
You wouldn't?
No, if it's my first time, because, you know, I wouldn't join her because I wouldn't even know what is happening in the first place because I'm a visitor.
Yes, of
I
course.
just met you, so I wouldn't join you. But, you know, if I'm used to you, why not?
So there's been this rant on Twitter, you know, that is it the girls?
Even at the first time, if she asks me to help out, I will. Do you understand? If she asks. But normally, I'm a visitor.
Yes.
I just met you. I just went there. Do you understand what I'm saying? But if she insists or she asks, why not? I'll join her. But if I'm used to it's like it's going to be like my home, you know, so why not? I would join her or even, you know, take over the kitchen.
So yes, you know, there's been a lot of drama surrounding the question that is it right, is it wrong? And personally, like you said, you know, first time basis, you're a visitor. I don't see why you expect me to dive into some form of housework just because you're trying to prove yourself as a worthy companion or a worthy daughter-in-law. And I personally, I think such ideas should be archaic because there's no way you'd go to your in-laws' house now and there's no like house help or someone that is already. No, I'm just saying like
someone
there
who would
would
actually
be someone
do the work.
in the house that's already doing the work. So why do you have to now go and say, okay, let me? I think the best I can do that first day is if it's my mother-in-law personally that serves me food, I can help her clear the table when we are done eating. I think that's the least I can do. But saying, oh, I would go into the kitchen to start maybe cutting
because
onions
it's your
or
first
cutting
day, you're the
tomatoes,
visitor.
or-
You should be served.
You should be served.
Yeah,
It's
you also deserve to know how you'd be treated when you finally go into the house. So,
Thank
you know, why not start now?
Thank you. Now, as some mother-in-laws are asking you to clean, I saw a tweet of this lady who said, first time she went to her in-laws' place, father-in-law, when she was going home, father-in-law gave her a check, and then her mother-in-law gave her some cash. So I'm just wondering, why shouldn't that be the case?
Why did they give her a check and a cash?
Because they like her. It's more like, you know.
So did she clean the house?
She does something. She didn't do anything.
Exactly.
So why shouldn't it be that way? You know, you see me, you like me, you're like, thanks for coming. Like, thanks for making my son so happy. Take this, and then you go. But then you want me to come and
Well,
start.
would you collect the money?
I don't understand. Why
would you collect the check? Like, what's it for? Because you like me and you're giving me cash. What if it's a payout?
Payouts that what? I should
After
leave their
giving the cash,
children, leave their son,
by the time they call you later and say, leave my son alone, you've collected the money.
That would actually be a smart move, but I don't think that would be it. I just think, you know, it's a form of appreciation. Plus, they might be planning a wedding, so it might come from a place of, oh,
you have money.
Yeah, you have money, or just.
How much cash was she given?
She didn't say, but I don't.
What about the check? I'm mostly is it blank? Was it blank?
Check. Is there a least amount you can write? Because let's not be that. Maybe it's like
it bounces, or when you get to the
not
bank
even bounces. I'm just thinking like you know how somebody can say, oh, they gave me money, and then it can just be like maybe 5,000 naira on check. And because we've had
well,
check
it's still
now,
money. It's still money.
It's
but you know, let's move on. It's still money. 5,000. You know, the gesture is what matters.
The gesture is what matters. Very true. And then there's this video of Buju. I don't know if you saw it over there.
Is it Buju or Benson now?
Buju Benson.
Okay.
Buju Benson.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay, where he was arrested?
No, he wasn't arrested.
Okay, him and police, right?
Yes, just usual scuffle. Probably, you know this Nigerian police and what do you call it? Stereotyping. Young boy, dreadlocks, chain, Mercedes-Benz. Park there, please. Want to search your car. And then I think in the video, you know, there was a time where the police officer even entered the car and was like,
they do that a lot.
And I know, to be honest, I find that thing to be very, very annoying, because I believe we all came here with cars. So why are you entering my car and telling me to drive you to the station? But you know, that you want to say something.
No, don't worry. Let's move on. No. Let's move on.
Nobody's going to beat you.
It's fine. Move on.
Are you sure?
Yes.
But then the thing is that I think we should. This whole stereotyping thing has to come to an end. People should have that confidence of doing whatever they want to do and not being afraid.
The AIG, the Inspector General of Police, warned against them arresting, you know, young men. There was a warning. There was a warning to that effect. Yes, why would you? Okay, so we're talking about, you know, the age of technology where everyone moves around with their laptops, you know, and most of the work is actually done on the go.
Yeah,
you know, even at home, it's virtual. Your meetings, everything, you know, virtual. And then you see me with the laptop and you just assume that I'm a Yahoo boy.
I know it's so bad. Some of them go to the extent of saying, open your emails, open your messages.
No, but they have no right to ask you to do that.
They have no right, but then you're in a country where we have trigger finger policemen. You could get shot just because you're refusing to do, or you could get threatened. Next thing they are.
No, but you know, if you actually know your rights, then you know what to do. And the reason why some of these
have you ever told a Nigerian policeman that you know your rights?
Yes, I have.
And
yes, I have.
You have?
The reason why some of these policemen, these, you know, as a few eggs, if I may call them, get away with it, because most of the youths don't even know their rights. They don't.
I wouldn't even say it's knowing of rights. I think it's coming from a place of fear. Because even with the rights...
That too.
I've, you know, casual times, you know, checkpoints and all of that. And then you'd be like, oh, you're not, they say, oh, I want to search.
Okay, so I'm sorry. I'm just asking now. I'm the police and I meet you and I'm like, open your bank accounts, your bank app, let me see. I tell you to open it. And would you do it?
I wouldn't do it, but then you're in But then I've been in a situation where a policeman would literally tell me, you know you're right, but I'm the police. Like, it's me and you here. Your right is not a person standing with you. It's just me and you here. So you're going to have to obey
I know
me.
that's a threat. It's not. That's a threat.
Yeah, but
because
that's
it
what
has
I'm
threatened
saying.
your
It's
life.
different when it's, you know, these things apply differently. When you're in a public space with people watching, you would feel more confident to say, I know my rights.
True,
but
very
you're
true.
probably parked somewhere, if it's not in the daytime, you know, maybe in the middle of the night, police stops you, and next thing they are saying, open. You don't even want to start saying, you know your rights, because your rights might not assure you
But
living
remember
that
what
place
happened
alive.
to us the other day?
That was because we had ID cards on us. If we did not have ID cards,
No, but
I
aside
guarantee
that, do you remember when one of the policemen dragged my little cousin to
Yes.
one side and I told him, come here.
Yeah, no.
You don't, you know, if you want, as you can see, he's young. You actually don't do that. If you want to search, you can search, but not away
funny enough,
from
it
him.
has happened to like me and my brother before. You know, they saw him cross bag, slides. They checked me, I was okay. They said, you come downstairs, like tapping, touching, and I'm like, excuse me, he has an ID card.
Exactly.
Just ask for his ID card. He's a student. He would show
Exactly,
that
student.
to you. But then, yes, so I mean, he even got with the whole Buju issue, he even got to a point where Buju put out a tweet saying he spat on one of the police officers in the scuffle. But then the Lagos police spokesperson said they are going to call him to the office, and then he deleted the tweet. And then he said he doesn't stand for police abuse and all of that.
Yeah, I
and
saw
all of
that one.
Yeah. So, moving on, Mr. Macaroni has come out to say that there are threats.
Please, is he really married to Momiwa?
No, he's not. I think
So was
it
that a
was
skit? That
No, it
whole
wasn't a
traditional
skit. It was,
wedding?
I would like to call it content creation. You know this...
What was the point of it?
No, you know, photographers, they have this thing where, you know, they work with tailors, they put people together just to showcase their work and what they can do.
But they looked really good together, by the way.
Honestly, I was actually happy that from faking it to... you know. But then, yeah, he's come out to say that there are threats
against
on his life. Yeah, based on, you know, he's very... he has strong opinions when it comes to politics and governance.
Especially on Twitter.
Yes, very. So, you know, when he visited his mom some weeks ago, and, you know, there was an elderly lady that came up to him and told him that that he should be careful about what he's saying, because these people that he's speaking against, they know his house, they know where he comes from, they know his parents. And, you know, I'm just wondering, is that what this government has turned into, that people cannot give their views without living in fear that, you know, someone is going to hurt them or retaliate in one way or the other? I mean,
I think because, you know, when it comes to social media, right, there's freedom.
Yeah.
You get, but when it comes to social media, I think a lot of people, you know, use the opportunity to say whatever they want, and, you know, without guarding their comments. So I think they're actually probably just trying to guard against that. And, you know, do you know one word can actually, you know, bring down a whole nation? Just one word.
Yes, it can, but like that's what I'm saying.
So they're just probably trying to guard against that.
But what is the point
to regulate what people
freedom
say?
of speech. You know the thing
No,
about
you can
social
actually
media
say actually say what you want to say, but how you say it actually matters.
Yeah, but the thing is that social media is supposed to be an outlet. It's supposed to be like this supposed fantasy world where you have the freedom to do what you cannot do in, you know, in real life. So
were you there when they banned Twitter and they said they have to set up
they banned Twitter, but some of us were not banned.
So there's nothing fantasy about it.
We're still VPNing our way through it. But then, like, the point is that if I say something on Twitter, it's Twitter. Why do you now want to now bring it out to real life and let's battle it out? I've said what I have to say.
No, but it's his opinion.
That's what I'm saying. It's an opinion. So why now take it personal to the extent of threatening people?
Okay. So who threatened him? And what did he say?
No, you know, he's been very strong about the whole PVC.
Okay.
Make sure you vote like who is right. Look at the economy now and all of that. He's actually never come out to say, don't vote this person, vote this person. and all of that. So people are assuming that he's against
the APC,
the ruling party.
Okay.
Yes. So, and you know how Yoruba people are. You know, they have this together thing. Like you're supposed to support your own.
Like together. Okay. Okay.
Yeah, like, you know, stand with your person. So when you're against that person, it's like everybody is now against you.
Hmm.
Yeah.
All right, let's move on.
And then there's the picture of Selena Gomez, you know, pecking Rema, looking so...
Which Selena Gomez?
How many
Rema?
Selena Gomez? Look at
Which
it.
Rema?
How many Rema do you know?
Okay, this is nothing. This is just normal peck.
It's not normal for some people.
See his mouth. He's feeling like a god now.
Why won't he feel like a god? A whole Selena,
Gomez
that was crying for Justin Bieber is now pecking Rema.
You know she's an actress now, and she has like a cooking show and all that.
She's always been an actress.
Okay, yeah, from Disney Junior and all that. No, but you know she left, she stopped, and then she started doing more of music, and now she's gone back to acting. There's this series that I actually watch, Only Murders in the Building.
Oh, I think she also has a beauty line called Rare Beauty. Yeah. But yeah, you know, people have been concerned. You know, Rema.
No, nothing.
It's nothing.
Nothing. Rema. Do you think Rema's game is up to, you know, like right now?
That's the funny thing. You know, it's actually in Nigeria that Rema has Nigerian fans. Don't get me wrong, but you know how much they love Rema in America. What? They love him. Like he actually has. I don't want to say he has more fans, but he has a lot of
Imagine
fans.
him and Selena. He's like, hey, Rema.
Hey, Celine.
Baby, oh.
Selena, please don't make me laugh. But you know, like, I mean, just like looking at it, the hopes of, you know, a Nigerian artist having to date someone that is, you know, from the other. It's never happened.
Well, you actually have a lot of, you know, African Americans dating Nigerians that are not even popular. They are not famous.
I'm talking about the famous ones.
No, I know. That's why I said a lot of Americans, you know, dating Nigerians that are not famous.
Yes.
It's still the same thing. Do you understand? Like the likes of Tamar Braxton.
Yeah, her husband is Nigerian.
She married him.
Oh, they're not married?
I don't know. I'm not really sure. I'm not sure.
I thought they were married.
I don't think... Did they get married? That Yoruba guy? Did they get married?
They're married now.
I don't know. I'm not sure about that. You know, you have a lot of them. Madam.
I've been living a lie.
Let's move on.
No, before we move on, I'm just saying, because like the only time we ever got something close to this was when we all assumed Wizkid was dating Justin Sky. But then, you know,
it's possible that something actually happened briefly.
Being a Yoruba man, you know, he went to do his demonic things and
I see. I am not of that school of thought. But let's move on, Rosemary.
Okay, then moving on. Did you watch the young, famous African Netflix thing that came out? The Annie Dibia Two-Face. You did not watch it?
No, I didn't. Is it a movie? Is it a documentary?
It's a series.
Have I had the time? Isn't it when you have time that you do stuff?
But you want to have time to watch Ras Guy.
I'm just going to say, do you know how many movies I have saved on my playlist? I've not seen them.
It's been renewed for a season 2, and I'm actually...
So what's it all about?
It's supposed to be like a reality TV kind of thing. You have the only Nigerians that were on the show last season were Annie, Two-Face, and
like Dancing with the Stars kind of thing?
It's lifestyle, reality TV.
Okay.
Young, famous African. This Tanzanian guy is there, Diamond Platinum.
Oh, he was there?
Yeah, so it's just a couple of rich, young African people, you know, doing their thing, showing their luxurious lives. However,
another way to make money.
However, last season, it was mostly based on the drama around Annie and her husband, you know.
Okay. So that's what the reality TV was all about?
No, I'm just saying, like, the last season focused mainly on Annie Dibia and Two-Face. Like, that was the highlight of the program. So I'm just, you know, looking forward to what they would bring this new season.
Okay, so all that talk about Two-Face and Annie having issues in their marriage and all that. So it's all because of the reality TV?
Like, that was what blew it up, because, you know, Annie was always crying and, you know,
no, but it's probably her script. Most of these reality TVs, it's a script.
Well, this one didn't really seem like a script because things went down.
Yeah, of course. No, I know. Okay, things went down before. Do you know Annie is an actress?
Of course, yes.
Okay, you know that, right? And you know, there's how you could actually sit down and think about something that happened in the past, and then you start crying like it happened now. So it's a script, madam.
It's a script, but that's just too personal to use as a script. That's my...
But that's what they do. If you watch the Kardashians, right?
Yeah.
Yes, you find out that, you know, a lot of...
Do you think the Kardashians is scripted?
It's scripted. It is scripted.
It is?
Yes, it's scripted.
But
I'm not saying what happens isn't real, but it is also scripted.
But if it's scripted, why do they still call them reality TV shows?
Yeah, it's made to look real. It's made for you to believe. But most of it is scripted.
You're lying to us.
Okay, all right. Go and Google it. Just Google it once we're done. All right, we'll take a quick breather now, and we'll return shortly.
Backpack started out as a novelty, going for as low as 1,000, 2,500. Parents also keyed into the use of backpacks as an essential school accessories to convey books and educational materials. Meanwhile, other people also use it as a fashion sense, while others use it to convey their working materials, such as laptops and tools, to their place of work. So, some backpacks are now going for as high as 17,000 in the market. Let's find out from people why the price is high and why they like using backpacks, as well as going into the market to ask the cost of backpacks now.
Originally, backpacks were designed for military purposes, but the first half of the 20th century witnessed rising popularity of the backpacks for recreational uses such as hiking, hunting, and camping. But now, packs have found their way into both primary and tertiary schools, as well as the universities. Many now use it as a fashion accessory, while some use it to convey heavy materials, tools, and gadgets to their place of work. But backpacks come in different sizes, colors, and prices. They were sold for as low as 2,000, 2,500, but they now go for as high as 6,500, 7,500, 17,000, and more. We asked some people why they use backpacks.
The school bag helped me a lot. If I'm traveling, I carry it along. As far as even there is no school, it helped me to carry some things which I don't supposed to use my hands, like my laptop and other things that I'm supposed to use.
Okay, the reason why I use my bag is because it helps me to easily convey my working tools and other belongings, and makes me look smart while going to work.
Yeah, I use it for both conveying of things and keeping my stores being secured. You know, due to the terrorists in the country, when you're with something, it can draw attention, but when it's in the backpack, it won't draw more attention. So that is the main reason of putting it in the backpack.
For me, backpack is more convenient to carry. You know, you can have it at your back and your hands are free. You can do other things. Also, it makes it easier for me to carry my tools, my laptop, and other things freely. So basically, that's why I prefer using a bag.
It's functional. You can carry it easily, even if it's big or small. It's convenient to carry more than other ones, maybe one strap back. So backpacks are usually better, they are stronger, so that's why, despite the size and the weight of what you carry.
Yes, I think it's easier and convenient for me to carry things in my bag.
Then we went into the market to sample the cost of backpacks and why they are priced that way.
Bag now. We are selling this bag before 4,035, but now we sell this bag like 7,065. Like this bag now before, we sell this bag 6,000. Now it's 9,000. We don't have bag of 4,000 now. Serious. Even this bag now, I see small like this. It's 7,000. We sell this kind of bag everywhere.
I have it in different qualities and prices, except the one you want. Like this goes for 7,500. And this, it was 6.5, but now it's 7.5. And these other ones, this goes for 5,000. Normally we sell it 3,000 naira. Like something like this, you can get it before 5,000, but now it's 6.5. And it depends on the gain. Sometimes you have 1,500, 1.5. Depending on how the market is.
Backpacks that example of which one of them? This one before we used to buy it at 4,500, sell it at 6,000. But now the price that we used to sell it before is what we are buying it now in the market. Now from 6 we are buying it 6 before now 4,500 we sold out 6,000, but now we are buying it at 6,500 somewhere 6,000. Then if you get 7,500 to 8,000, we sold it out. The same, the color is they are the same, only the color different. Then you can see. This one was 5,000 last before in the market. Then we sold it out 7,000, but now you buy it at the market 6,500, sold it 8 to up.
Well, I got it at the rate of 2,500. That was then. As you can look, it is old. So for now, I can't afford this type of bag now because it's high. There was a time I went to the market to buy. I asked, they were telling me 10,000, 11,000. So I have to come and manage the one I have.
Before now, I bought the bag at the rate of 4,500, and it's up to 2 years now. And by now, the price should have skyrocketed. It should be at the rate of 6,000, 6,500.
Yeah, it was 2 months ago. Bought it 14,000 naira. Yeah.
Does holding backpacks on the shoulders and back have any side effects?
Of course, it does. Especially if what I have in the bag is is weighty, like if I have a heavy load, yeah, it has an effect. Sometimes when you drop the backpack and you still feel like it's still there sometimes.
And the only thing is that when I get home, I feel some little pains, but it's nothing because I'm already used to it, because this is what I carry almost every day, and I don't put much things on my bag.
No, it doesn't have side effect on me, because normally when I put it on, within some minutes I will bring it down to hold it on my hand in case so I won't feel some pain on my shoulders.
So now the question is, why did the price of backpacks rise? Is it because of value of the naira, or is it because students are not the only ones using it? And just so you know, fashionistas are also part of the many Nigerians that use backpacks. We will surely bring you an update next time.
Well, everybody actually uses, backpacks. Not everybody, like most people use backpacks because it helps, it helps you carry lots of, stuff, especially if you work your laptop, your books, everything. It contains a lot, so it's quite important. But I remember back then when backpacks actually cost 1,000, 1,500. We didn't know how important it was going to be, but now you have backpacks for 9,500, 6,500, and most of them are Nigerian made.
People are buying backpacks for 8,000. How much are they paying for their school uniforms?
I don't even know. I don't know. Things have actually gotten really expensive. It's actually sad. All right. If in case you're just watching us. In case you're just joining us, you're watching Daybreak Extra on Trust TV. And right now we're moving on and we have our guest in the studio. Remember earlier we told you we're going to be entertaining a sketch artist. Yes, we have him in the studio right here today. And he's a creative designer as well and a sketch artist, and his name is Absalom Musa, and he'll be telling us about his craft and much more. But let's, take a look at what he has done, and when we come back, we will be asking him the questions, so stick around.
Oh God, I'm clean out of air in my lungs. It's all gone, played it so nonchalant. It's time we dance with the truth. move along with the truth. Hey, we're sleeping through all the days. I'm acting like I don't see every ribbon you used to tie yourself to me. But my hips have missed your hips.
So in case you're wondering, you know, oh, this lady looks kind of familiar, that's Fati. Fati, our producer and
One
our
and only
co-anchor as
producer.
well. But, you know, that was a really, really good job. Tell us, how did you get, first of all, you're welcome.
Yes.
Absalom, right? All right, so how did you get into, you know, sketching?
Well, I think that's one of my gifts. I was born with it. So since I was a little boy, I like drawings. I had this sketchbook that I used to take to school most times and do sketches for my friends. And later on, I got into comics too, writing stories just by drawing on papers and putting some balloons on the head and writing the actions, just the way comics are. Yes, and when I finished my my SS3, that's when I started going to drawing portraits. Yes. Then that was when I met Fati. She gave me works to do, and yes, and now again I'm into digital arts, not only pencil works.
Okay, so what's the difference between the pencil and digital?
Yeah.
And what do you use that makes it different?
Okay. Pencil arts, I get materials like pencils, charcoal pencils, and erasers, and work on paper.
Okay.
Digital arts, you paint with your laptop, and there's a digital tab I use.
Okay, and it comes with like a pen. Okay,
yes.
Because I was
It comes
thinking
with
you'd
a
use
pen.
your hand or something.
Yes, it comes with a pen. Then digital arts doesn't really it's not really expensive like the way drawing with manual craft is.
When you say expensive, what do you mean?
Expensive, like cost of materials. Pencils, erasers are high. They have high prices now in the market. That's why I switched to digital arts.
Yeah, but with digital art, you're buying gadgets. Aren't gadgets more expensive than pencils?
And you need to upgrade them as well,
you need to
especially
upgrade.
softwares.
But there are cheaper ones that you could start with. Yes. So you don't need to buy paint, you don't need to buy anything. It's all there in the computer. Yes.
Okay, so but do you get the same results as, you know, pencil? Because I know pencil, you're feeling it as you're drawing
Yes, as you're drawing.
you know, you're in it with the drawing and all that. But when it comes to digital, it feels like something is helping you do it. So
It's also similar.
Okay.
It's also similar. And there are different type of artists and the way they do their works. Some like realistic, some like cartoons and animations. So some people go deeply into mostly realistic drawings. So that's why they spend more time trying to improve in their craft and everything. But you see, like pencil work again, there are still people that do animations with pencils and just enjoy drawing cartoons, and some that like doing realistic.
Okay.
Yeah.
So where do you draw in your artworks? Where do you draw inspiration from?
Most times, I love imaginative arts most times. But sometimes again, when I get jobs, that's when I'll take the picture, I'll print it out first, then there's a grid line I do. I do grid lines so that I'll get the proportions well, or scale it. If I want to draw a bigger, like I want to convert a smaller picture to a bigger one, I'll use grid to make it a bigger size, yes.
Okay, so you're actually using a lot of terminology. So I want to know, you said you started from when you were little. Did you study it in school?
No, actually I didn't.
You didn't? Why?
Yes.
Why? Because I'm sure it would have been more... it would have helped a lot, and it would have opened you up to, you know, a lot more. So why did you decide not to study it in school? What did you study in school instead?
I'm studying architecture currently.
Yeah, it's quite similar.
Yeah, it's quite similar. It's quite similar. But during my secondary school days, I was a science student.
Okay.
Yeah, I didn't really go to art class. I don't know, I didn't like art class.
But you actually need science for architecture as well.
Like art class.
All right, but how has being a sketch artist been helping you in terms of keeping yourself together in terms of money?
Well, it helps me a lot because from the money I get after doing my sketches, I still use them to buy more art materials and also get clothes for myself.
And how expensive are your work?
My work, they range from 20,000 upward.
Wow, that's quite a lot. Okay,
yes.
but
what would you say is your favorite time of the day to create? Some people like to paint in the day. Some people draw. You don't paint. Some people like to sketch at the day, sketch at night, sketch maybe in a quiet. So people can sketch with music. What's your creative process like?
Music, and I'm a night scroller. I work at night, yes. Once I put on my headphones, I get busy.
Okay, so you actually sketch on, clothes and shoes as well. Yeah, so how does it work? Is it the same materials that you use for the book, for the pencil that you actually use on these?
You have to imprint.
Or do you have to imprint, or how do you go about it?
I have other tools I use, like acrylic paints. I use acrylic paints. I use acrylic markers. Okay. Yeah, those are the different materials I use.
Okay, so it's not imprinted like when you're doing it on a shirt or something. You actually draw on them.
I draw on top, yes. I do hand painted for now.
Oh, that's good. And how long does it last? Especially when you're washing.
Yeah, it takes a lot of time to wash out, because I use fixative after I finish everything. I spray something to help it last longer.
Like what we call setting spray.
Setting spray. Because I was going to ask you what is fixative, because
setting spray. Okay. So would you say your style of sketching has changed over the years?
Yes, it has very well. A lot. Before my drawings are more cartoonish, and these days I like to go into realistic. To take my time to make them look like whatever it is I'm copying or wherever I get my inspiration from. Yes.
Are there any art trends that inspire? Like, do you ever see something maybe within your art community?
Within your area.
Like, okay, I want to try and do this, or I'm going to do this sometime.
Yes. Mostly on YouTube or Pinterest. Once I go into Pinterest, I see different...
You're one of them.
Yes.
All right.
I see different ideas that I like to
bring
go
to
into.
life.
Yes.
Okay, so talking about ideas and all that. I know some people, when they're working, they actually, for example, musicians. Some love to sing about love strictly. Some love to sing about, the economy and all that. Like, they have a focus. Yeah. So, what's your focus when it comes to your artwork, and what does it represent?
Well, my main focus is most times I go into, how do I put it?
Or you're an all-rounder? Are you an all-rounder, or you just have one specific, some actually sketch animes. Some people want to sketch, some people want to sketch people's faces alone.
I am an all-rounder, yes. Yeah, most times I do landscape, most times I do...
Your Rema artwork is nice, very realistic too.
You.
Why didn't you sketch Selena Gomez?
Yes, I'm an all-rounder. I do landscape, I do portraits, I do cartoons too.
Isn't that more stressful, like having to do everything instead of picking like one thing to focus on and build your skills from there?
Okay, but most times these days I think I focus more on portraits. These days, yes. These days.
Okay, so what plans do you have for your career development?
Well, with time, I hope to open a shop, an art shop, where I will do printing, do arts training, and do fabric painting and all.
Is that your short-term or long-term goal?
Long-term goal.
Long-term goal.
Very long-term.
Okay.
So no architecture in the middle of it.
Architecture comes into. I think I want to merge like everything in
Two
the
of
company, like something like that.
Will you say in Abuja here there's a network of artists, like a community of artists that that supports what people are doing? Because I mean,
like the comedians have that.
Yes, comedians have.
What
that,
about
musicians have
artists?
For artists, I think I've not found out any in this Abuja yet, though. But most times I go to anime comic cons where you meet other artists too. Then you guys will like
we
comment.
have Comic Con in Abuja.
Yes.
You have Comic Con?
Wow.
Wow.
The things
How
you learn
come?
every day.
I'm telling you.
I'm so surprised.
I would have loved to attend.
I would have
one
loved
of
to
the, like,
attend, but I would not attend because I don't know what costume I would wear.
You look for one. All right. So now, I want you. This question is like a two-part question. What's your favorite artwork of a different artists, and why? And then what's your own favorite artwork and why do you love it so much?
My favorite should be
Of someone else?
Yes, one of Mayor Arts. The guy is on Instagram. He drew Cristiano Ronaldo, and Cristiano Ronaldo is one of the best players in the world, and it was ultra realistic. Yes, the best actually. Yes, and that was when I saw that picture, I was like, I really want to go deep down into hyperrealism.
Yeah.
So that's what is building me up now. I got new materials too, and started sketching and getting into it like very well now.
And then your own.
And yours?
My own favorite should be. I mostly love all my artworks, but I don't.
They don't know how to pick what. Like when it's their own thing, they cannot pick what they like.
I don't
They'll
really
just tell you, "Oh, I like it." All.
Okay, like for example now,
effort
imagine you've never met me and you've never met Rose, right? And then you see me one day and I ask you, let me see your work. The one that gives you joy, right? The one that anyhow, anytime, people would actually appreciate.
Yeah, like it's what represents you.
What represents you? Which one?
There was one I did of myself, but yeah.
Oh, of yourself?
Yes.
From the picture, because I was going to ask, how did you sketch?
All right, I know there are lots of, sketch artists in, I don't know if it's in Nigeria here. You understand? Sketch artists. Wait, no. You don't understand where I'm going to.
Sorry.
There are lots of sketch artists in courtrooms, forensic sketch artists in courtrooms, and also law enforcement.
Yes.
For example, yes, you know how it
I know
is.
what you're speaking of.
Yes, exactly. So, have you ever thought about helping law enforcement do sketches, especially?
The way you said like I've never
you've not thought about it at all.
Yes, because I can't take a description like.
Oh, you can't do that?
No,
you're more like I need to see what
it.
No, so that is me sometimes, but like.
So if I describe, you won't be able to.
And you can describe some other things, but not somebody's face. Then I will try to get the person.
So you might not be able to get the person.
I think for like forensic sketching, it's really different because like if you're describing, you're going to say, oh, he had a
pointy nose,
eyebrow, pointy nose, his eyes were joined together. The one eye was wider than the other.
He has a scar that looks like a burn.
His upper lip is big, and so it's a bit more technical as compared to regular sketching. So how do you what do you call it now? Would you say that sketching, painting, drawing, they are all different? Because I always feel like if you can paint, you can draw. If you can draw, you can sketch. So would you say that they are three different things entirely, or they are all the same?
Okay, I would say they are sort of different because sketching is like to just get the outline. Let's see, some people sketch to get the outline before they paint or before they go deep.
So, but sketching is like the foundation, is like the basic.
Is the foundation of everything. Even the digital art, I sketch before I paint. Yes, and pencil works too. I sketch before I color or.
So, but which is more difficult? Is it the sketching or the painting?
I would say the painting itself, yes.
Why? Because of the color combination and everything.
Speaking of colors and detailing, and yes, you need to take time to detail. But the foundation is basically the sketch. If the sketch is not good, the final outcome will.
So, like, how long does a job really usually take you?
It takes like up to 3 days most times.
Yeah? Yeah, I was thinking it's like how many hours?
How big is the, like, no, it depends on the size.
Okay,
How big is the artwork you're speaking of?
Let's see, 18 by 18 inches.
18 by 18, that's
quite big, yes.
That's very big.
So it takes you like 3 days, but this one you made of Fati, how long did it take you?
Like 12 hours.
And how did you process or take a mental picture before deciding to do it, or was it because the picture was beside you? Was it easier with the picture beside you?
Yeah, it was easier.
But do you also need to take a mental picture?
Not really, sometimes, not really.
You know, I used to draw, but sticks. Stick drawing.
We all started from there too now.
I was going to ask, do you think that art is something that has to come to you naturally? It's not something you can learn?
No.
Like to be an artist? Yeah.
To be an artist, you can learn how to draw. Everybody knows how to draw.
Sticks is also drawing.
Don't say that. Because I remember my lizard drawing in biology.
Okay, so I need you to help me. You know, I don't know. You might actually help me with this. Most times. Why are you laughing? Like, seriously? All right. So most times, right, when I'm sitting on a table and I have a pen or a pencil, as long as there's plain paper, I always draw something.
Yes.
Even if I don't know what I'm drawing, even if it's lines, I must draw something. Does that make me an artist?
Yes, no. That's your own design.
Are you being serious?
I'm being serious
now. If I
now.
open my paint folder on my laptop, there are plenty of things there I would not deem myself.
Paint folder and laptop?
There was a time Windows
no, not that one. No, we're not talking about that one.
Saying, like, that's digital art.
I always sketch. Yeah.
This thing. So I have a lot of those things, but I don't think I'd ever come out to say.
No, but but what do you think if I had honed that skill, I would have been, you know, a very good sketch artist?
Yes, because it takes a lot of practice.
Are you looking for a side hustle? Let me know now.
Yeah, because I do graphics, so, you know.
Yeah, it's quite related, no? Yes. If you take your time to, like, learn, you can... And watch more tutorials online. There are people that teach for free online. So you can get a page that you can be following up. There are art tutorials, yeah. With time.
Okay, so how has the economy affected, you know, your kind of job? Because everything is high now, materials, you know, how has it affected?
Well, these days I don't really go out to buy materials because they are very expensive. Recently I went to buy paper. Paper that I usually used to buy 300 naira is now like 700.
Wow.
So I just got like 2 and took them home. That's why I switched to digital arts last year.
So, okay, it's more economic?
Because you don't have to buy
you don't have to be buying materials back to back. Once you're out there, you tap. That's all.
So, but how, okay, then you just print it whenever you want, right?
Okay, do you think, Adnan, if you were to show me an artwork, do you think art has different meanings to people? You know that thing that, you know, somebody would stare into an
like
artwork?
This pot, this flower pot, it means something different. I know. Look at, just turn and look at it.
I'm not looking
I want to try something, Rose. Wait now. It looks something.
It's a flower pot.
That's not true. I know what it means to you. But before it's a normal flower pot.
Yeah. So would you think that, like, one art has, like, different meanings? It can be something as simple as a woman walking to a stream. Somebody can see it and say, oh, that's slavery. Someone else can see it
that's
and say,
too much hard work for a woman.
Someone else can see it and say, oh, that's a prime and proper, you know, girl. So would you say art has, like, its own language?
Yes, it has its own meaning for some people. Like, you know, for almost every artist, every artist has its own meaning when drawing, like, has its own meaning when it's drawing.
Yeah.
Like, so somebody can see this as like a normal flower pot now, But for somebody else again that is in love with nature, you see, this is beautiful. This speaks to my soul. Like,
and you have some people that would actually break it down. Oh, I love the color. The yellow, you know, brings out something, the sun, you know, and the green.
You're exposing yourself. You know?
That's why even the flower pots, you know, there are some people that sculpt now. So an artist again can do a different design.
And will tell you how the rough edges of
but
the
you know the thing is, you go for an art exhibition, and when you go for an art exhibition, you don't go there to look at paintings and say, oh, this is beautiful. You understand? You have to critically think and it needs to give you meaning. Every artwork needs to give you meaning.
That's why in some exhibitions, some artists do give like a small write-up.
Yes. So you think, critically.
Maybe when you're
use your head.
you use your head to like imagine what the person is feeling.
And then you spend like a few minutes on it, like, oh, because there's some things that you might not see in the first place that you would actually see. All right. Well, after all, okay, you have a question?
Just before we go, what is it about your work that gives you joy?
Well,
if someone were to ask, why do you like sketching? Like, what is it that, you know, when you see, like, what is that thing that keeps you going?
Yes. Most times when I'm sad or when I'm lonely, I just pick up my pen to start sketching. Yeah, maybe sketch something that will make me happy, or I'll just pick a scene. Yes, like from online, and try to sketch and give myself that peace of mind. Yes.
You have to sketch two of us, so just so
that would be great now.
All right. Well, after all said and done, would like to thank you so much for joining us on Daybreak Extra today, Absalom Musa. Yes, thank you so much, and we wish you all the best in your future endeavors.
Thank you very much.
Yes, and with this, we've come to the end of Daybreak Extra. Thank you so much for tuning in. We'll be back again next week, same time, same station. I'm Darshan Hussaina Usman. Have a wonderful weekend.
And I'm Rosemary Bassi. Have a wonderful weekend too.